Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before I get into the spooky video, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like and comment on my video. And if you are feeling in the Halloween spirit, hit that red button and subscribe to my channel. Now, thank you all for joining in, and obviously, the content today is the Halloween event itself. So, straight up off the back, I have to talk about the fact that the event is now live. And the first few chests and the first few items that have been sold for quite a reasonably huge sum. Now, I'm going to just go open out one or two things here. Let's just see if I can get to it. I'm not sure if the prices have updated, but people were supposedly selling items for really large sums. Yeah, it is quite high, and it is getting higher as the day progresses, and it most probably will get way higher because a lot of players are going to be running after these pieces of equipment. Now, I'm not sure about this. I don't think the interruptive is in the game at the moment. Oh, it is 300 million. Okay, anyway. So I know a lot of players were actually going after the interdiction modules. And let's see. No, I don't think this is available. But this definitely should be available. Yes. Okay. So a lot of players have been going after this. Now, in high sec, they may not have a ridiculous charges yet in comparison to what they're going to be in nullsec. Now, in nullsec, when one of these goes up for sale, you can expect to make easy $500 to $1 billion on them within the instance of having it. That's how expensive these interdiction spheres are at the moment, and due to their rare number, selling them within the nullsec area is actually going to be quite viable. If you're moving through allied space or within your own ally space, you're going to pick up players buying these things off you really fast. Now, when it comes to getting them, you actually have to hunt anomalies called Haunted and Crimson Cemetery anomalies. Now, those are the two most common. There is a third, I'm forgetting its name again. I might figure it out as we go through the video. But nonetheless, the Haunted anomaly and the Crimson Cemetery are the two anomalies that I have seen so far. Now, within them is the same mechanism as fighting waves within a Scout or Inquisitor. You go to the anomaly, you jump into the first level, and you're going to fight waves of enemies. Now, generally, they come in 6 to 7 waves. And once you have cleared out the 6 or 7 waves, you then have to loot the boxes, and within the boxes you will find that there are special chests. Let me just go down to these chests, and these chests are actually holding the interdiction spheres. Let me just open it for you. Sorry. Now, this is the most common type. These are dropped from the Haunted, and if I'm correct, you do get them sometimes in the Crimson Cemetery, but generally in Crimson Cemetery you're going to get the rare box. Now, as you can see, everything that is available within it, all the disruption technology is a possibility of this drop. Now, let's read at the bottom. And here's something to note. All these skins are limited time skins. They're 7 days and 30 days, and any of them permanent? No, they're not permanent within here. So, yeah, there is the catch on it, right? So, let's see what it says. Open to receive several random items from the list. So it's going to give you several random items. Several will mean it's more than a couple. So that's 2 is a couple. So it's going to give you more than 2 items most likely. And that's what you are getting from this. So opening these boxes and reselling the items from inside is going to be viable. However, remember there's a chance that you're going to get painters and not spheres and bubbles. And spheres and bubbles are the expensive pieces of equipment at the moment. That is what you want to be getting your hands on to be able to use them further. Now, corps and alliances are going to be farming areas non-stop for these. And once you actually get them, these are some of the mechanics and some of the basis that you're going to have to understand. Number one, if you are in a coalition or in a corps or in an alliance within nullsec, you can't be thinking of selling the boxes or selling the items from the boxes for your own personal gain. Remember, your alliance needs to get ready with these because they can defend your sector and they can defend your space. So once these are up, it means that people flying through with high speed ships aren't going to be able to do it anymore. You're going to be able to block them out with blockades, with cyclones and cinnables and whatever you want, and you're going to be able to set it up on those areas and blast through enemies rapidly. Now, that is the advantage of these pieces of equipment, and that is a way in which most players are going to use them. You're going to get a lot of players now rotating in terms of security. 30-man security teams, 20-man security teams, they're going to be popping up, and one person using an interdiction sphere. A lot of the corps are now going to dedicate players to these services, and you're going to see it popping up more and more. Now, moving on from all of this, there is the issue of making ISK of it if you are in those ratting teams. Let's say that you know for a fact that you only have 20 teams who are going to need everything, and your corp has 100 players, and you're all farming, and you're farming 20 sacks. Only one of these haunted crimson or the higher level, I'm forgetting the name of that higher level anomaly, spawn at a time. Now, within the haunted, the level difficulty is T6 scout level. That means it is quite difficult, but it isn't as difficult as a Dead Space, so you are going to get away quite easy. The drop from the end of it is going to be 2 rare chests. Sorry, not rare, 2 common chests. So the very same chest that I'm looking at right now. Now, when you move on to the next one, the Crimson Cemetery, you are going to be getting rare haunted chests, and it's a similar level with what you're getting from inside. However, there is a slight difference to the skins within it. I'm not exactly sure how it works. Yeah. Within the rare, you get a chance of getting permanent skins. Now, if I'm correct, it's only for that first level. It's not for the Grimace that you're getting permanent. Now, yeah, it's 30 days. Same one again, sorry. Oh no, so it looks like there is a chance of you getting permanent skins from the rare boxes. Now, when it comes to the rare boxes, understand that they drop more items than the common boxes. And this means that they are more valuable and have a higher chance of getting you all revved up and ready for defense. Now, one thing to note is, with all of this going on, you still have to wait for interdiction ships to be built. At current, the price of these items are really high, and within the nullsec, you can expect these items to fetch massive figures. And when I say massive, I mean you can expect figures of up to 300 million a piece on any one item for the next 3 or 4 days. Moving on, the next piece of equipment which is going to be looked for is the elite chest, basically the precious haunted supply box. Now, I don't remember the name of this anomaly. I actually forgot it. I read through it before I started this video, and I didn't write it down in my script. And unfortunately, I don't want to reopen it. But if I am correct, it only gives permanent skins, and it also is one of the better aspects of this entire event. When you look at what it says, open to receive several random items from the list. Now, this chest gives a number of items, and it's okay. Wait, I didn't speak about the Crimson Cemetery. The Crimson Cemetery's difficulty is about T7 to T8. It's 5 to 6 waves in the Haunted and the Crimson Cemetery. So those are what you have to expect to fight. 5 to 6 waves of enemies, and then only you're going to pull off your big win. Now, moving forward, the next one after this haunted supply box is going to be the haunted supply box in the same level where you're going to get it. These anomalies are a little bit more difficult. Expect them to be intermediate T8, T9, possibly a T10 level. They aren't locked to spawn within any tier of difficulty on the map by the looks of it, because I've seen a haunted spawn in a T7 system. I've seen a haunted spawn in a T6. I've seen a Crimson Cemetery in a T6. I've even seen the elite one, the one where you get the precious haunted in a T6 area. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to be simple. I am suspecting that they're going to keep that difficulty level of T8, T9 level difficulty in jumping into. Now, T8 and T9 elites, sorry, not elites, T8 and T9 events and structures generally are very difficult to fight in. They're going to give you a slight level of difficulty. Now, something else to note, players have been reporting that they are being hit by interdiction spheres within bases. So, when clearing bases, just be careful about getting hit by interdiction spheres. I don't think that the interdiction spheres drop from the bases. That's just because it's only supposed to start dropping from enemies on the 11th of November after the event. So the chances of you actually getting a drop of something in a base should be zero. But if you do get anything, you can let us know, and then we know that there's a glitch in the game, and they most probably will patch it up in the next few days. Now, there is something that you have to note. The events aren't 100%. Sometimes they do have these small flaws. Now, moving on beyond all of this, there comes the aspect of setting up your corp and alliance. Now, I'm actually just going to speak about this in a general spec. When you're going out and farming these, remember your corporation and your alliance and your coalition, you need to make sure that they have this equipment. So that means that your primary goal in getting these chests for the first 2 or 3 days is actually just going to be to supply your alliance. Now, after the third day of farming, you can actually go ahead and give it over to your corp to decide what they want to do. They can now introduce it directly into the corp, build ships and set them up for helping with interdiction blockades into your areas, or they can take it and they can sell it and build a bigger army or armada up to protect your area. But once that third day passes, everybody who is generally in the help the alliance boat can now be in the profit boat. But understand one thing, right now in these first 3 days, the value of items is going to be crazy high. I'm suspecting that the level of value on them is only going to drop by about 300 million on the 500 million value interdiction spheres. Today, it's going to drop to about 200 million by the end of tomorrow. And by the time we reach the third day, you can expect between 58 and 100 million per interdiction sphere. However, it could still remain at 500 million depending on how rare the drop is from the chests. Now that applies for everything. If you get permanent skins and you're thinking about selling them, you can put them on the market right now and make a killing of them. However, as the event closes and reaches its end, if the harder level spawns are very common, selling those items is going to become very, very poor in terms of your profit. You might not make your 3,000 plex value out of selling those items. So don't really go for that as your primary. Take a little bit of a break from it, think about it carefully, and only go for it once everything has concluded. Make sure that you give yourself some time to think about making ISK in the way of buying the skins. The skins will be very, very expensive once about 2 or 3 months have passed from the event, but that depends on how rare they were dropping. If we get over 1 million of them in the game, they will be as commonplace as any other item, and they'll only have a value of about maximum 20 to 30 million a piece. And the players who paid Plex to get it was just to get it early, and that is just about the end of everything that's in that whole mess of a situation. Now, for those who are selling it privately, you don't have to go all the way to the main ICTs. You can sell it within your coalition areas. Example, the Quarius Coalition, CNK, the Catch, Quarius, Curse, all of those areas, they can actually intertrade with each other if they are allies and allied routes. You just open up the trade, and most players will buy it if they really need it at the moment. And you can expect a lot of players to purchase it on the fly immediately. Then you're going to see some of the players setting up their bubbles and gate camps to trap players as they're moving around with the items to steal it off them. So you can expect a lot of PvP to happen over the next few days. You can expect a lot of PvE activities. And if you are playing and you have a big fleet who are transporting these items, make sure that you have a PvP escort, because you don't want to lose these items every single time you try and get back to base. So that is going to be about the basic message for today. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.